Before we start, I want to say that this whole video is a rant. It's been 2 months since the release of the second season and 4 more months until the final one. Yet despite countless theories and debates, I still see new videos and topics coming out every day, claiming that human chess will be one of the next games in season 3, and that it fits perfectly with the show's theme. I don't want to insult anyone, but did you really watch the show? How in the world does human chess align perfectly with the show's theme? That game is the complete opposite of what Squid Game embodies. How people could believe this is beyond me. If you're one of those people, please explain to me in the comments how this would be a fair game. I'm waiting. This game goes against every principle of Squid Game and human nature. Now, I understand that we're all looking for clues about the next games on the dorm walls, but let me ask you this, and please answer honestly if you believe this theory. Have you ever seen a chessboard in your life? Each side has 16 pieces divided like this: 8 pawns, 2 bishops, 2 knights, 2 rooks, 1 king, and 1 queen. As we can see, there are 6 distinct pieces, while on the wall paintings, we only see 1 figure, a cross. If you really want to believe that those tiles represent a chessboard, then a better guess would have been checkers. Now, the whole idea of this game is just dumb. People think the players would select one leader to tell them the moves, and they would choose Gi-hun to compete against the frontman in the last game as a final showdown. This doesn't even sound good in theory. I'm not trying to trash my man Gi-hun, but he is one of the dumbest protagonists in a TV series. How in the world do you expect the final game to involve the most intelligent game out there? Gi-hun thought the rebellion would succeed. That's the extent of his strategy. And to think he would compete against In-ho just because Netflix released a photo with people dressed in black and white? Come on. As I said, this game goes against the main principle of Squid Game, which is fairness. Although this season didn't emphasize this concept as much as the first season, we still saw how relevant it is. The fact that Dae-ho and Hyunju aren't killed because of the rebellion is proof of that. I don't know if you remember this or not, but during the rebellion, the organizers ordered the players to leave their guns and return to the dorms. The only ones who did that, although it wasn't their purpose, were Dae-ho and Hyunju. This is why they are still alive in season 3. We know they are alive because of the teaser photo presented by Netflix. All the other rebels were killed on the spot. So although this concept isn't reaffirmed as much in this season, it's still there as the main brick on which Squid Games are built. All of society's trash, brought together and given one more chance to make something of their lives. People who speculate that human chess is the next game forget all of that and are just going with the herd. Let's analyze this. The main theory goes like this. People would select one leader to make the moves, who would act as the king piece, and all the others would get different roles, either a pawn, a bishop, a rook, a knight, or the queen. After that, the game begins, and once a piece is captured, that piece is actually eliminated. How is this fair for the pieces? Their free will is taken away. They don't have control over their own lives. Also, the pawns are at the biggest disadvantage. They get eliminated in 99% of cases. And what do you do if, let's say, you play the game, all your minor pieces are eliminated, and you end up promoting one of your pawns? But surprise, you can't promote because that piece is dead, literally. Also, there's no way a human would accept this. I know I wouldn't, and I'm sure none of you would put your life in someone else's hands either. If you were selected as a pawn, or even as a minor piece, and your king sacrificed you for nothing, would you still make that move? I don't think so. If I'm going to die because some jerk wants to survive by killing me, then screw him. I wouldn't move. What would they do? Shoot me? I was gonna die in the next round anyway. You see how many inconsistencies there are with this game? Although it may be poetic, there is no freaking way this would be a game. Not a real, possible way for how this game would work. This game requires 32 pieces, and at the moment, there are approximately 70 people left. Are you implying that the fourth game would kill 38 players and the rest would compete in human chess as the fifth game? Oh, and don't get me started on the terminology and game mechanics. I pride myself on being a pretty good chess player. My blitz rating is around 1700, which places me in the top 3% of all players on the website. Trust me when I say that I would lose my mind if I saw a chess game, but there's just no way. I mentioned terminology. Do you even know what checkmate means? This word derives from a Persian phrase, Shah Mat, which means the king is helpless. Not that the king is dead, but that the king is helpless. In chess, the king is never captured. So, are you telling me that the king player, after sacrificing all of his pieces to win, would just be like, oh, well, I tried. It didn't work. See you in the next game, and would advance to the last game because of that? Or what would happen if the game ends in a draw? You know that in chess, there are more chances for a game to end in a draw than for one side to actually win, right? Imagine killing 20 players just to realize that they made a draw by repetition and can't redo the game because there are too few left to play again. Human chess is one of the dumbest theories I've seen on the internet. And trust me, there have been a lot of dumb theories out there. I'm certain that some YouTubers didn't even believe that this would actually be a game. They just made the content because it's popular. It seems like it gained some traction, and they wanted to get their share of the views. This is the biggest problem, and I'm sure a lot of the stupidity in this fandom comes from these people who only make theories for the views and don't care if they're true or not. And then, when people see that one or two YouTubers made a theory about it, they start to think it must be true. And this cycle keeps repeating until it becomes a universal truth. Do you think I'm being too harsh on the people who do this and that I'm exaggerating? Then let me tell you this. I won't mention any names because I don't want to shame or point fingers, but there is someone who made a video that had around 100,000 views when I saw it. In that video, he speculated that in the last season of Squid Game, we might see a new main character, and that one of the games would be an eating game. In this supposed game, the guards would place 3 identical burgers in front of you, and you would have to select and eat one of them. The catch is that 2 of the burgers are poisoned, and you have to choose the correct one. He came up with this theory after seeing a trailer from another country, and even showed footage of that trailer. What's the problem with that? The problem is that the video is 3 years old, and it's actually an ad for Burger King. A literal ad, but he took it and made a theory out of it because it got him views. How can the standard be so low that you can't even spend 5 more minutes to find out that it was a partnership between Squid Game and Burger King? But I'm sure he knew this. There's no way it wasn't shown at the beginning or the end of the video that it was an ad. Heck, I think they even put it in the title. But he didn't care, and because of that, 100,000 people saw this theory, and some of them actually believed it was true. I kid you not, there were tons of comments saying this would be an interesting game and that they could see it happening. So yes, the standard is pretty low, especially on TikTok, but still, I expect more. Not just to recycle information you saw in one video and then pass it off as your own. I don't have any problems with the early theories about this. It seemed like a viable option back then. My problem is with people who just copy others without adding anything new. In the last 10 videos I watched about this theory, all the arguments were exactly the same. All of them. Not even one of them bothered to research the topic a little bit. Don't believe me? Go and watch those videos, and you'll see that they all say the same things. Human chess as the next game. When a piece is captured, it's eliminated. The game would require 32 or 24 players. The number of chess or checkers pieces. Each team would have a leader controlling the pieces, and that Gi-hun would be one of them. And of course, they all mentioned that Netflix released a photo teaser with Gi-hun, an In-ho dressed in black and white clothes, supposedly signifying chess pieces. Watch all those videos and tell me I'm wrong, if you can spot even one video out of 10 that actually says something different. I'm open to debating this, but there's no possible way, no fair way, no feasible way for human chess to be a game. The only way chess could be a game is if it's played one-on-one, but that would be way too boring. So no, human chess cannot be a game in the next Squid Game season. Please stop believing people who say it is.